You are a very proactive negotiator. And that can range from asking for a discount on coffee, which I think we should revisit briefly.
Yes, dude.
To the 35 plan, I believe, that you had for COVID, right? I think it was maybe dropping sales goals, assuming a 5% profit margin, something like that.
Yeah.
I'd like to know how you negotiate things down. Like, what are some of the key approaches? So let's say somebody's looking at lease of a space for an office that's not really being used, or they're looking at their credit card statement and they're trying to tighten the belt because they want to take some swings at entrepreneurship, but they want to feel a margin of safety, right? Yeah. How do you approach this? What are some of the keys to that? Because this is something I know you have a lot of practice with.
Okay, I'm not going to do Jewish jokes, but I love a good deal. That's AppSumo.com is all day.
No, it is Jewish, to be clear.
Okay, a few things of how I like to approach negotiating and getting better prices on things. First off, this is going to be counterintuitive, but I always say I'm really bad at negotiating. That's my first line.
You say that to the person you're negotiating against?
Yeah, every time.
Got it.
And the idea here is, one, I am bad. Because what I'm interested in is like, I don't really want to spend a lot of time. I want to understand what you want. Mm-hmm. And if I know that what you want, and you're happy with what you get, and it's within my circle, that's it. Mm-hmm. I don't want to spend so much time actually negotiating. So, and I think that lowers people's defenses as well, where I'm just not really good at negotiating. I want to make sure you get what you want. Mm-hmm. And then people are like, oh, great. So that's number one. Second thing, no one really wants to be guilted. I have a Jewish mother. I know about guilt. Right? There's a reason Jewish chocolate's called gelt, right? Like, it's not a coincidence. The second thing is, no one will be guilted into being excited to work with you. And the internet is a small place. The world is a small place. Me and you, how long have we been together? You started what? Your book 2007?
Yeah, the book came out in 2007, started writing in 2005. So we met 2007, 2008.
2006, 2007?
Maybe earlier.
Yeah.
It was before,
so like,
2006.
It comes around.
Yeah.
So when people try to dick you over, or people kind of grind you, you're like, okay, I know. Mm-hmm. I'll see you again.
Yeah.
Right. And so for me, it's like, how do I have a positive experience where, do you want to do another deal with Noah? Do you want to do another discount with Noah? And then lastly, I think a lot of times pricing. So one, be positive. Have a good experience because you're probably going to do this again. Then I say lastly, what's the actual value you're negotiating around? I think a lot of times it's like, well, I want 5 versus 10. It's like, why? So have clarity about why you think it's that price. Like, hey, here's comps. Here's something that you can actually base this on. So have something where you're like, okay, I'm paying, what we do at AppSumo.com is we do a biannual review over every single contractor and every single software subscription. We don't use software. We literally just have a list on spreadsheets. And then
so twice a year, you go through the list.
Every single thing.
Of your sort of recurring costs.
Yeah. So our server costs and electronic costs a month, give or take, is $250,000. Contractor teammate cost is somewhere around $1.5 million a month. So you add that up over a year, it's a lot. So every biannual, Anna, who leads our people team, she's amazing, goes over that. And then we basically have 2 columns, which is price of it. And then we have the return on investment, or how valuable we think it is to the company, low, medium, high. And then they literally go through every single one and see if they can contact anything that says low and then just get it canceled. Either get it canceled or get it negotiated down. Anything that's high, we still ask for a discount as well. But we more or less leave those alone. Last tip I'll give for negotiating prices, and again, I recommend everyone doing a biannual review personally or professionally. When you give the number, shut the hell up. I don't know if you've heard this, but this is one of my favorite. I do this all the time. I literally did it 2 days ago.
And when you say when you give the number, that's effectively what you're asking for?
Yeah. So, $1 million weekend and even AppSumo.com and life in general, everything is an ask. And so how I like to do it, I bought a sauna and they didn't deliver it for 6 months. And I was a little frustrated. So I did a chargeback. People in Europe don't know about chargebacks. You know this? Americans are like, I'll charge you back. Europeans are like, what's happening here? So I charged back and they contacted me.
You define a chargeback. That's basically you're asking your credit card company to reverse a charge.
Yes,
right?
Which everyone should do, not all the time. And it happens at AppSumo, and we do our best to rectify what customers think is wrong. But it's a really nice way of getting a company's attention. Yeah. Because they get charged for it. They get a $35 bill, and they get notified like, hey, here's a chargeback. You need to solve this. And so I wouldn't do it all the time. That's not something I'm doing rightly. But if someone, like, I try to return something or they didn't deliver for 6 months, I did a chargeback. Now I'll talk to the negotiating part. So the owner of the company, 3 months later, after he notices it, is like, hey, I got a chargeback, man. Like, what the hell? And I was like, on my integrity, I'm going to pay for your sauna. But let me just tell you my experience. We have a chat. This is literally 3 days ago. And he's like, all right, man. He's country, actually. He's like, all right, man, I got you. I'm going to hook you up a little discount there, Noah. I was like, all right there, Craig. And he's like, I'm going to give you 10%. I was like, okay, Craig. I was like, Craig, I think what times when you're negotiating, people do like, they go back and forth emotionally. And it's like, get off the emotion and get to the solution.
Get the result.
Yeah. Get the result.
Instead of being right. Instead of
100%.
Instead of being righteous.
With Craig, he said 10%. And I said, all right, well, Craig, let me just walk through what happened. You guys charged me $13,500 for my sauna, which I love. It didn't come for 6 months. You lied to me every week. I think what's the reason they lied to me that it was coming every week. I'd ask every week, and they're like, "Oh yeah, it's coming this week for 6 months."
5 minutes took it for those people who've seen Snatch.
What is it?
It's a movie reference. It's people who get it. Doesn't matter. It's a movie reference. That people who get it will get it.
The last negotiating technique, and this is $1 Million Weekend. We can talk about how to sell better, and there's a very simple framework everyone can copy. But with Craig, I said, "All right, Craig, let's do 20%." And this is the power move. You say your ask or your number, and you shut up.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. I don't know if people already do this or know about this, but that is the power move. So the final blow.
Let the silence do the work.
Just be like 20%. And Craig is like, all right, no, you got a deal. Let's get it done. And so then we got 20%. I was able to get an extra $1,000 off the sauna. I'm happy. He's happy. We can move forward. Mm-hmm. So that is a lot of how I like to negotiate.